Just lying down on your back. See if you can stretch to get as much of your spine on the mat as possible. Pushing down into the sacrum and then peeling the back across the mat. And then just take the arms out, stretch the shoulders out to the sides and take the arms about shoulder height. And then take the legs down. And lift up the right leg and push the heel away from you and stretch the leg as far as it'll go. And then drop the leg down. And then lift the left leg, push the heel down. Stretch the leg out and drop it down. And then just push the head, the back of the head down into the mat and stretch the back of the neck. Lengthening out through the crown of the head. And just feel that sensation of being really connected to the earth. So as much of the body is connecting to the mat, to the floor, to whatever you're on. And then bring the attention to the breath. And just stay here breathing. Feel like the body is breathing itself. Deep, full, natural breath all the way in and out through the nose. And then just take your attention around the body. Let's do a quick check-in of the physical body. Just moving the attention round, all the way around from the head down towards the feet. Just observing any tension in the body, observing any other sensation. And just bring your attention to a specific area, moves the energy to that area. And often that's enough to let go. If there's any gripping or holding, just that attention at that part of the body can be enough to let it go. And then push the back of the waist down into the mat. See if you can really stretch out and lengthen that spine by pushing as much of the spine down into the mat as you can. And then release your position. So Carol, I can't actually see you on the floor. But it's fine because we were just kind of it was just an introduction and it was just a thing. But I can't see you because you're angled too high. So we're going to stay lying down. But I wanted to just kind of be able to see you because I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to do a kind of cat-cow, really, I suppose. So all we're doing is we're arching. I don't know if you can see, arching the back up and then pushing it down. Pushing into the feet, and really getting a round in the back, and then stretching, arching up. So we're making a tunnel, and then we're making a bowl with the spine. So I still can't really see much. Here's Shona. Hi, Shona. Are you well?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, I'm really sorry, I'm awfully late. Is that okay?
It's fine because I know that you're okay. We've just really started coming down onto the floor and having a stretch up, and then we did a quick body scan, and then what we're doing now is we're just bending the knees up, and we're just arching the back like a tunnel, and then we're scooping the belly in and rounding it like a bowl. So it's like a cat-cow, but we're just obviously on our backs, really getting the full range of motion as much as you can. Okay? You might want to just take a few breaths to settle into the body and settle into the natural breath if you want to before you start to move. And then just relax your spine, and we'll do the same kind of thing but this time with the head. So we're doing I don't know, I suppose it's a neck extension where we drop the head back as if we're trying to look up over our head, and then the other way, so we're taking the chin right down to the chest. Just moving the head up and down. Just do this a few times. And then just bring the knees up to the chest. Give them a hug. Inhale in position. Exhale, draw the knees to the chest. Inhale, release the knees out from the chest. Keep moving here. So when you breathe out, the knees come into the chest. When you breathe in, the knees are coming out from the chest. And then let go of your right leg. Just hug your left knee into the chest and take your right leg straight up so that it's vertical. So I don't want you to take it further over, even if you can. So you're pushing down into the sacrum. Feel these deep postural muscles, these deep core muscles switching on. And all we're going to do is take that right leg straight down and up, pushing down into the spine, keeping that core connection. If you feel like your back is arching up and down off the mat, then you need to bend your knee a little bit. So it's really important, more important what's happening in the core, the foundation, than what's happening in the extremities. Just moving one leg up and down. Feel that work in the core. And then bring the right knee up to the chest, give the knees a hug, move around. You might want to rock from side to side or Stretch out the legs or whatever you feel you need to do. And then take the right knee, left leg straight up, and just move the left leg down and up. Checking in with the connection so that the back of the waist is connected to the floor. Making sure that your neck and shoulders are nice and relaxed on the floor. And bring the knees up. Just give them a hug. Move around. Stretch the legs out. Do whatever you feel you need to do. Just in between. You might want to take the knees over to one side and then over to the other to release that core. And the next thing we're going to do is just rolling. So I do this, I quite like this. You might have noticed that I do it quite a lot. So literally, you want every vertebrae to connect as you come down. So you might want to start off, like I've got quite a pronounced lumbar curve. So I just start off with small movements until I get that connection. Then you can start rolling. So we're not going into a plough, we're just rolling the legs. And once you start getting into that rolling, you will feel that in the deep core. And then to make it harder, you can put your hands on the front of the shins and try and make sure that you don't have any space, if you know what I mean. So you're connecting. And then if you want to make it harder still, if you're able to, then you can come back and then lift the hips vertically up. So we're not going over into a plough, it's more of a up to the ceiling. So roll back and push the hips up to the ceiling. So you might not have that. Good, Shona, that's... So you should feel that in the deep postural core. And if you're feeling it and you need a break, just take a break, stop, shake out, come back to it when you need to. Remember, everything's optional except breathing. Make sure that you're not having any clunkiness going up and down. So if you miss a vertebrae off the floor, you sort of hear a little clunky sound. And then if you want to, you can roll all the way up to a seated cross-legged position or just over onto your side and come up. Pull the flesh away. Roll the shoulders, grounding down into the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And just allow the breath to come back to a nice equilibrium. Finding that natural breath. Pushing down into the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, out the crown of the head. Make yourself nice and tall, and then just roll the shoulders back and down gently as you exhale. And then we'll come over. I was just going to say that, Shona, because you need to try and let that knee be supported. Anyway, we're going to come over at all fours now. So, let me just get my hair out the road. We're just going to do a cat-cow on our knees, and then we'll move into a down dog from there. So I'm sure you've seen this hundreds of times. Roll the shoulders, take the knees underneath the sit bones, and then just inhale in position. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, and then just start scooping the belly in, one vertebrae at a time from the base up to the top. So now you've made a tunnel with your spine, and then inhale, starting at the base, lifting up like a bowl shape, chest and head lifted. Keep moving in time with your natural breath, and if you feel like you need to adjust the position of your hands relative to your feet, to your knees, and that's fine once you get moving. Especially if you're quite flexible on that exhale, you might feel like what's stopping you is that your knees are too far away from your hands, and you could get a bit more of a stretch. And then just come back to neutral, and then curl onto your toes. And then I want you to think about getting this in a nice smooth movement. Maybe take your hands a little bit further forward. And then I want you to just come into a down dog, but I want you to swing your hips kind of down and back, like so. It's swinging down and then lifting, keeping the head and the chest to the knee. Keep the knees bent, keep the heels up, and then just come back down and forward, and again swing back. So it's a momentum thing that pushes you back, and it keeps your back nice and stretched, pushing your hand away from you, and then come up, and then just start taking one heel down and up and the other heel down and up. Roll the shoulders open, keep pushing your hand, both hands away from you, as if you're pushing the mat to stretch it out. And then come up on the balls of the feet and push down vertically into the hands and the feet, and feel the core switch on. Making a pointy triangle. See if you can get the tailbone as far away from the crown of the head as you can. Keep rolling the shoulders. And then exhale, take the heels down and just stay in your down dog. With every inhale, lengthen through the spine, pushing the hands away from you. Shona, is your wrist okay now? I presume it must.
Still have to be careful with it.
Oh right, but so you should be on your, maybe on your elbows
Okay,
or something.
This position's okay.
Right, okay. And just take rests when you need them. And then from here we're going to come into a bit of a back bend. So come down onto the knees and then slide forward and just come into Sphinx pose so that the elbows are underneath the shoulders. And then shrug the shoulders to the ears and roll them back. And as you roll them back and down the ribs, feel that lift in the chest, intensifying that back bend. Lengthen up the back of the spine. And lengthen up the front of the spine. And if you want to, you can intensify this by pushing down into the hands, but just go to where the body feels it needs to be. And then stretch the spine across the mat. And maybe take your hands down and rest the forehead on the hands, resting on the tops of the feet. Take the feet to the edge of the mat. And just belly breathe. Stay here, and as you inhale, push the belly into the mat. Feel that massaging your internal organs. As you exhale, see if you can feel the pulse in the belly, the digestive fire. And then just come back up to, I'm going to come back up to down dog slowly. So just coming up, take the hands down by the shoulders, curl onto the toes and lift up. So Shona, you might need to modify this for your wrist. You might want to go on the elbows. Just listen to your wrist and don't push it. So we're going to come back and forward into a plank. So obviously you'll be here. And I think most of what I'm going to say now probably won't apply to you if you're on your elbows anyway. But so your options are to come back and forward on the feet like a down dog and forward into a plank, or be on the knees and just stretch back and forward. But in any case, as soon as you start to come forward, pull the shoulders back from the ears so that where you end up. So if you want to observe the difference, maybe not you, Shona, because you're on your elbows anyway, but if you observe the difference between this, yeah, and then this one. You see the difference? From here, the second one, to here. So what I've done on the second one is I have thought about this as a stationary point and the arm is swinging from it. So where's my arm going to go if I was to take my hands in a bit? The shoulders are either going to go right up to the ears, or the elbows are going to come out to the sides. And when the elbows come out to the sides, then here's where I'm feeling it, and I'm just hanging off my shoulders. So either on the knees back and forward, or on the toes back and forward into your plank. Take rests when you need to. And then come back to down dog whenever you're ready, whenever you feel you've had enough. So we're just going to start, maybe step it up. So this is quite a strong physical practice. So the scope is there to step it up, but there's no obligation. As long as you're breathing, I don't care. So if you can think about doing a vinyasa, so Shona, I just want you to be super careful with your wrist and just maybe, you know, if you're on your elbows, you won't be able to do the full movement, but you can go from an up dog to a down dog sort of thing. So your vinyasa, you would have options. You could bend the knees a little bit, inhale, come forward, then exhale into your kind of upward facing dog or modification. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, heels down into your down dog. So you could be on your knees, just coming up like this, and then back into your down dog. You've got a whole load of options in between. Try and just come down onto the knees if you need to. And it's better to keep the shoulders in, keep the elbows into the sides. This is a bit like, you know, if you were doing Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga and you were doing your vinyasas, and a lot of people get shoulder issues and you're like, oh, I've practiced Ashtanga Yoga, my shoulders stunning. And I wonder if it's because they're hanging off the shoulder. You need to move it down to the core. And we do that when we roll the shoulders back and get the elbows into the sides. It moves from the shoulder to the core. So see if you can do maybe 5 of these vinyasas up and down, or if you want to push the boat out, you can do 10. Nothing's compulsory except breathing. So do what you feel. You want to pace yourself if you've got loads of house parties tonight. And just get to the right level of energization. When you're done, just come down to child's pose. I'll leave it up to you. You've got more time to work if you want. And just come into child's pose when you've had enough. And let the breath restore. Or if you prefer another restorative pose, that's up to you. Really take some nice deep breaths. Keep the knees a little bit wide to give yourself space to move all the way down. And just allow the breathing to restore. Slowing down. Finding that natural breath. Realised I haven't got the big light on. And when your breathing is restored back to normal, bring the hands round, lift yourself up. And we're just going to take one final, quite strong back bend. So I want you to just be careful of your neck. So it's like a knees, chest and chin slash, I think called Anahatasana chakra, Anahatasana pose. So you want the chest to come down towards the floor, and if you need to have your hands like this and your forehead on your hands, that's fine. If you were stretching it, you would take the chin down like this, but that is not recommended if, you know, it's not something you would force. You don't want to go out here with all your Zoom parties and a neck brace. So just maybe see how far you need to come forward to get into this. You can curl onto the toes. Maybe resting somewhere like this is quite nice. Push a little bit weight into the elbows. And take a few breaths here. Good. Take your chest as far forward as it needs to be so that you can get it a little bit down towards the floor. And then just pick yourself back up to all fours to a neutral tabletop. Roll the shoulders, knees under the sit bones, hands down under the shoulders. Push down into the hands. Apart from you, sure, I don't know if you are able to do wrists or if you want to do elbows. But as you push down into the floor, feel the deep core, these muscles round the spine just switching on. And then we just do a gentle cat-cow, very gently, just as a counter pose. And you can do this on your elbows as well if you want, Shona. So this is just a counter pose to that extreme back bend. And then just come back to neutral all fours and just watch what's next. I'm going to take my left foot level with my knee. So there's the foot and there's the knee, kind of more or less level. If that's not working, you can lift your torso up to do it. And then come back and see if you can kneel. So maybe, Shona, that might not work for one of your knees. You might have to modify that. But we're just going to kneel down. The point of this, I mean, this leg can come out straight, it's fine. The point of this is I'm stretching right down the back of the body. So I'm just going to take my head to my knee. And then maybe even take one hand onto the head, not wrenching or forcing, but just the weight of the hand pulling down. And really curling up, scrunching up into a ball to feel that stretch down the back of the torso. That good old kidney meridian or nadi channel, whatever you want to call it. That I talk about it quite a lot because it's one that definitely gets out of balance, definitely causes us to get fatigued, definitely makes us feel frazzled, like we can't cope and we try to do everything and we're rubbish at everything. And then maybe lean back a little bit, see where that moves the stretch to. And then lean forward a bit and see where that moves the stretch to. Wow, how small a ball you can roll into, it's how you're experiencing that stretch that counts. And then just release. Roll the shoulders, come out of this slowly, come back to all fours, and then you might want to stretch the legs out a bit, give them a little shake, whatever else you feel you need to do. And then obviously we're just going to do the other side. So taking the right foot level with the right kneecap and sink back, kneeling down. So I think this will be your knee that you want to watch maybe. Shona, I don't know if you want to kneel on that knee. It's up to you. Your body needs to tell you. I can't tell you. Nobody else can tell you. You have to listen to your body. And then just